Hello, everyone. My name is Miles Schaefer, and I would like to talk a little bit about database security. Database security, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important aspects of a database, you know, other than, the actual storing of the data. Without having a secure database, there's no point in really having a database if you can't keep that database secure, people from accessing it, things happening where something gets deleted, and basically all sorts of the like kind of the inner workings and how a secure database is overall one of the best things that you can do or should be one of your top priorities in your database. So we'll cover kind of three aspects of database security. The first one being the system and objective privileges. The second being how to create users and grant and revoke privileges. And lastly, kind of how to work with security roles, kind of an interdisciplinary look at the roles of security within the database, the users, and the privileges, and how the inner workings of that go together. So, over the past 10 years, there have been 300 data breaches involving theft of 100,000 or more records, which is a statistic from Forbes. In the US, they saw 1,224 data breaches in 2018 and had 446.5 million exposed records, which is a statistic from Statista. Say that 5 times fast. And then data breaches exposed 4.1 billion records in the first 6 months of 2019, which is another statistic from Forbes. So, I mean, it's pretty astonishing. I mean, looking at those statistics, it's no wonder that a database is going to be one of the top things that someone who is wanting to attack someone is going to try to hack into a database, uh, especially to like leak information, or someone wants to get records for uh, you know just to steal money. They're going to hack into a database. Okay, so anyways, the best way that I learn is going to be using hands-on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go in using SQL Developer and kind of go over just some simple things on kind of managing the system and object privileges. So, so we're going to create a user, and then we're going to grant them access. All right, so we're going to go into SQL Developer, run as administrator, and the lovely noise that it makes. Okay, so we're gonna get into, let's go into the My Guitar Shop, a database that I've already created, and we're gonna connect real quick. You can connect with the script or manually. So I decided to go ahead and connect it manually just by right clicking and connect, and just kind of keeps it simpler. Um, and then so I already created the script for it, so I'm just going to load it. So what we did is, say you have an employee, you want to grant them access to your database. So my guitar shop, I want them to. So the first command creates the user uh, in the password. So the user is employee one. You can name it whatever you want. But you create user and then identified by, which is the password, and we'll use the classic Sesame, Open Sesame. And then the second command, grant connect. So they're going to be able to connect with the username, and then they're going to have resources. So this allows them to um, user one. I got to change that real quick to employee, where they won't have access. And so now they can, yeah. So now that they have created this script, they're gonna have access to, um, and they'll be able to create tables and edit, delete, or whatever with this script. So you created the employee, then you can't just let them have access to everything. So what you're going to want to do is limit some of their access. Say they're, you know, an assistant database manager. So you want them to have enough of information, you know, of certain things so that you can assign them projects to do. And, you know, you don't want unlimited access to everybody for everything. So we're going to create a new script. And this has already been done. So you're going to connect to the My Guitar Shop. You're going to select the employee one. And so you want to give them access. You want to turn on access to the customers. You want to give them within the table. And then you want to give them access to addresses in the database, orders, and order items and products. So we're going to turn all of that on and give them access to this. So that way that they can select, insert, update, delete the information within these parameters. So for the customers, addresses, the orders, so they can go in and manage certain aspects of that database within My Guitar Shop. So now employee one will have access to these specific individual parameters. To view the information, this will display what they have access to. And as you can see, employee one, this is what they are granted access to. This is the privileges. So they can update addresses, they can select, they can insert, delete, and this shows what they have access to. So employee one got a little antsy and he started deleting some stuff that he shouldn't have. So what we're going to do is take away his delete privileges. So he accidentally deleted some orders, and some people needed their receipts, an itemized receipt, and he deleted it before he could. So that employer wasn't happy with me because of what my employee did. So I got to take away his privileges. I'll give him another chance. So we're going to revoke delete privileges on the orders. And so we can go back and we can redo this, and it'll show it had 18, now there's 16, and so it took away his privileges for delete. So employee one is doing a little bit better. They showed some initiative, so I'm gonna grant him some more privileges and add another role to their job. So we created a new role. They can make payment entries on products and orders and order items. So you go in, you create this role, and you allow them to, select and update on the individual columns under orders, order items, and products, and the specific things that they're allowed to do is select, insert, and update things from each of these categories in these roles. And that's just from the last one where they tried to uh, delete something that they weren't allowed to. So with all of that being said, you can kind of see how, just this small, and I could go on for a long time talking about other aspects of security, and this is just security within the realm of kind of management to the user, and you can even go so far as to like the employees and the customers. The customers really aren't going to have access to programming the database, but you can see how you can limit certain aspects that people have in the database, such as like say maybe I'm the database management manager, redundant, but and so me as the manager, I was creating limited access within the database for my assistant, in the roles of how they can get access to deleting, updating, and inserting uh, tables and data within the database. So, that's just a small aspect of security and the role that it has in whenever you're managing a database and you're updating and selecting and deleting and whatnot within these privileges.